This is In the Know for Thursday, April 30, the 121st day of 2020. There are 245 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 1039 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast. We're on Facebook Watch, we're on YouTube Live, we're on Periscope, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we will update you on the very latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Governor Beshear has a briefing yesterday. Judge Henderson has a briefing yesterday. We now know the phases for reopening our economy in Kentucky. We'll talk about that. And a visit from Dr. Greg Koo from Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Did you come home for a day?
What do you mean?
You've been doing your T-shirt travels, and now you've got a staff shirt on.
But I'm super excited to meet with Dr. Koo, so I thought I would wear a staff shirt today.
Need to look a little professional?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. But you'll maybe head back out on the road tomorrow to some other T-shirt destination?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, looking forward to it. She's the pride of Pumpkin Center, the heiress to the great mini burger fortune. She's Vera Wang's arch nemesis and the Professional Bargain Hunters Woman of the Year. She's Misty Embry Thomas. Hey. How's Misty? Come on, give me those thumbs. All right, 2 thumbs up. Are you healthy?
Go gadget thumbs. I am healthy.
Very good.
Yes, I am healthy.
Feeling?
Never mind this cough.
Feeling?
Yeah, that's just allergies.
You feeling better after the briefing yesterday? I don't want to talk too much about the briefing yet, but we're going to reopen. Have you heard?
My daughter let me know last night.
She did let you know.
She said, "When do you think I'm going back to work? Because this unemployment I'm making is fantastic." I'm like, there's a handful of you all out there that are feeling the same thing.
Yeah, we may have created a problem for some individuals.
Yeah.
I would like, while I have the two of you as a collective audience, and I can poll you both, many of us would like to know what you'd like for Mother's Day.
My children to get back to school.
Okay, well, that will happen on May 11th. Well, I don't know that they'll go back to school.
Just kidding.
But we're going to see some relaxation starting May 11. We'll talk what those things will be. But if you think about it, Mother's Day is a week from Monday. Then on the 11th, there's some change. There's at least a path in moving forward. Will that be the Mother's Day gift, or do we still need to get a hanging basket?
You know, I was going to say I'd like to have some plants because we have not gone and bought potted plants yet, because we're trying to do the right thing and not buy them just because one big box store is open.
Yep.
I kind of feel like I know where you were going with that. So things are going to open that mothers would like your hairdresser, your massage therapist.
Not until the 25th, though. That's more of a Memorial Day gift.
It's like a, hey, here you go in advance.
Yeah, do we just want to, I'd like to go to the grocery store without a mask.
I'd like to figure out what is wrong with my fig tree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. I was going to say all good ideas, but no, those really weren't good ideas. So
sorry.
I'm not sure. But Mother's Day is a week from Sunday, so
I got to
just be
tell you,
prepared.
though, I would just like to go out in public and not feel like I'm breaking the law. Because really, I did yesterday.
Breaking the law.
Yeah.
The clouds and northwest wind will keep us cool today in the 50s. Drizzle in the evening hours, lows in the 40s. Clouds will break up tomorrow morning, allow for increasing sunshine, some afternoon high clouds, highs near 70 tomorrow. So showers and 56 today. Slow clearing tonight, 46, becoming partly sunny, and 70 as the high for tomorrow. So just get prepared. For the second day in a row, Judge Executive Kevin Henderson had to announce the passing of another Grayson Countyan due to COVID-19. He announced yesterday that 101-year-old Alma Catherine Schartzer of Duff had passed late Tuesday, not long, it was beyond the previous day's briefing. She was a resident of Grayson Nursing and Rehab and a great woman. It's just the tribute that he paid yesterday, part of the, I guess you would call it a eulogy, part of the tribute to her. It marked her core values and the things that she represented, the things she instilled in her family members as well. That came on the heels of the previous day having to announce the passing of Sam Mormon of Falls of Rough, who in his own right was also an amazing man to his family, an amazing patriarch, member of the greatest generation, a servant to our country in many ways. And so that's three, what I will say, iconic Grayson Countyans that we have lost during this season. And so that brings our total to three, and let's pray to God that it stays at three. I'm not going to fool myself that we will stay at three, but it would certainly be worth praise if we could stay there. There are now 65 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Grayson County, an 18-year-old woman who's an employee of Grayson Nursing and Rehab, and a 60-year-old woman, an employee of Twin Lakes Regional, and that were the two added to our total. Still, as we mentioned yesterday, some additional recoveries, some people whose symptoms have passed, so I believe we're headed in the right direction, but that's no consolation to those who are mourning losses or people who are in the throes of dealing with the coronavirus. Speaking, I have not been able to detect yet why Governor Beshear moved his briefing yesterday to the EOC. There are a few different reasons I could speculate and wonder, but I'm not going to do that because I don't know there may be a very logical reason. If he were going to move them because of protests, I thought he would have done that last week or week before, whenever the first day of the protest and the window was open and it sounded like they were on the other side of the wall. But they've not had a noise issue since then, so I'm not sure why he moved to EOC. I don't think that it's protest related or an attempt to hide, but there's some reason that he did. But he started to he mentioned 10 new deaths yesterday. That brings us to 4539 confirmed cases. But the biggest news of the day that people were waiting for is that he had teased the previous day that he would have the phases toward reopening the economy. And so it will go a little like this. Now, there are 10 key steps that you have to participate in. Let's not forget that. There are 10 steps that you have to follow in order to do this. But on May 11th, manufacturing, construction, vehicle and vessel dealerships, professional services at about 50% of pre-outbreak capacity, horse racing minus spectators, pet grooming, and boarding. So, professional services. I believe banks are going to be in that category. I think they're going to be somewhat limited to, they'll slowly reopen, but other professional services, law firms, accounting firms, advertising firms, whatever falls into that professional services category. It is a little bit odd that pet grooming and boarding is in that category, but humans have to wait until May the 25th.
Listen, I read a post on Facebook and it cracked me up.
to get
So
groomed.
you can get your dogs groomed, but you can't get your hair done.
Starting May 11th.
But I've seen what you all have done to some of your dogs.
Yeah, I've seen some of what you've done to your husband, and
I didn't do it. The kid did.
If you felt that was directed at you, that's on you. That's
I didn't do anything.
I was not pointing that at anyone in particular.
I was on my face wailing, Lord God, please don't let her cut her.
But you,
Oh, Jesus,
and in full
please.
disclosure, you have a daughter that cut your husband's hair.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Brr.
You
Sorry.
can just say high and tight, right? He kind of
Just on the one side.
sheared it off.
She figured it out when she got to the other side.
May
But it was too
20th.
late.
Houses of retail and houses of worship. Now, the date 20 jumped off the page at me. But the 20th? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So prayer meeting. Because the 20th is a Wednesday. Why did they pick the 20th for houses of worship? And it was to give them the extra days to get prepared for Sunday services coming up. So you should be able to be back at church in person with the proper procedures Memorial Day weekend, right? So the May 24th will be the date. Then on the 25th, social gatherings of no more than 10, barbers, salons, cosmetology, and similar type services. So some of y'all are going to get to cover your roots up again, May 25.
This may be the first Memorial Day weekend the churches are full.
Maybe.
Usually they thin out because people have left to go camping for the weekend or out on their boats. Or
Well, and I think I'm using this time to go back to whatever is natural color for me. I'm not sure what that is,
I've not seen me in the natural in so long.
but I'm pretty sure, I'm not that worried about it.
At soon to be 49, my natural color is gray. So you just you know.
Now you know. You didn't know that before pandemic. We've discovered so much about
Yeah,
ourselves.
what my natural color used to be and what it is now, I think, are two different things. So be careful about going to your natural color. Of course, you're only 40, so I've got a way big head start on you. Also, so this will be phase 1. Those 3 chapters are of phase 1. Phase 2 would include gyms, campgrounds, youth sports, maybe June, maybe July. It's possible. But I think as Kentuckians, let's worry about getting through the end of May, and then let's revisit it. Let's just look and say, can we successfully get through from May 11th through 6/1? And if we can do that, then let's figure out where we are and go from there.
I'm just going to say that's what you told us when it was 14 days, people. Just sit on your couch for 14 days.
Yeah, those were 14 or 60 or...
Liars.
Yep. So houses of worship. By the way, I read an article for those of you who are in church leadership. There is an article at Kentucky Today, Tom Latex organization, at Kentucky Today that has 13 or 14 questions that you need to ask about your congregation. It's the passing the plate model. It's the, all the various things. Does the Lord's Supper need to be done differently than previously? All things that go into proving that your congregation is safe. Not all the questions will apply to all the congregations, but when I read over them this morning, I thought that's a good starting point for church leadership to say, okay, here's how we can address this, and this. But what you do will be up to you. I did find it interesting. AG Daniel Cameron filed an amicus brief in support of the Bullitt County Church's lawsuit against Governor Beshear on in-person religious services during the coronavirus pandemic. Some of this is top-down. U.S. Attorney General Barr had told prosecutors around the country to be looking for excessive power executive orders around the country, and now you're seeing the Kentucky Attorney General kind of following the lead. I'd just like to say that initially in March and in early April, I was definitely in support of us ceasing in-person worship so long as we had the ability to worship, and we do, online. In fact, we've been worshiping in new and sometimes, for some people, better ways than previously. So I don't think General Cameron would have filed this amicus brief 3 weeks ago. But I think he can safely politically file it now that we're beyond it. See, think about it. He didn't file it until there was a pathway to reopening the churches. So in a way, he's listening to the people that are in his ear saying abuse of power, but he's also over here saying, well, so long as we're getting back to normal, we can afford to litigate this or examine it legally now as far as a legal question without worrying about health and safety of Kentuckians. So the timing of it is interesting to me. It's a political win for him, but he also doesn't have to go against the safety orders of the sitting governor in order to do it, because they've been pretty good friends so far. I don't know that they'll stay that way, but so far they've been
Well,
good
when
friends.
you're forced to social distance from everyone, you can stay good friends.
Makes it a little
You can't
easier.
slap fight when you're 6 feet apart.
Social distancing is the equivalent of having a good fence.
Yeah, it is. Less
The
money.
University of Kentucky has released a study saying that the restrictions that were implemented on Kentucky spared higher virus rates, and they claim that maybe saved 2,000 lives in Kentucky. I guess in the end, it'll be, will be interesting to know. The Healthy at Home initiative is said to have saved 2,000 lives.
That's interesting.
In Kentucky. Of course, we'll never know what might have happened. All right, some other news headlines to run through today. If you go bowling and you get 3 strikes in a row, it's called a turkey.
It is?
Yes. If you play hockey and you get 3 goals in a game, that's called a hat trick. And in fact, in some places they throw octopi on the ice. In Tennessee at the Predators, they throw catfish on the ice when someone gets a hat trick. So you might need to throw catfish or say, hey, hat trick, to Grayson County Sheriff's Office Deputy Zane Greer. He got a hat trick this week. 3 DUIs in one shift, just over 12 hours.
Yeah.
So Tuesday night at 7:05, he arrested Wayne Grubbs of Litchfield for driving 82 miles an hour on Brandenburg Road, but then proving to be DUI. Then 11:30, so about 4 hours later, spotted a Toyota Tundra westbound on the WK Parkway. As a result of that, they arrested Charles Warren of Elizabethtown, 41 years of age. Then at 7:30 Wednesday morning, his third DUI in his shift, the 9,000 block of Annetta Road, Caleb Reynolds of Bee Spring was arrested.
What do you think he was
Hat-trick.
thinking when he got up to the third one? Like, really? Are you all coming from the
I think I
same
would've
party?
looked at
What
my
is
watch.
happening?
You're
7:30.
not right. You're not supposed to be grouped up together.
Two Grayson County residents are facing drug trafficking charges after a significant bust in Clarkson. Tuesday afternoon, Chief Buck Meredith and Grayson County deputies responded to the 420 Millerstown Street to an investigation. Chief Meredith made contact with 28-year-old Cameron Johnson of Litchfield, who was hiding from police in a bedroom closet. Upon a search, they found drugs, drug paraphernalia. He arrested Johnson and another resident, 22-year-old Crystal Garcia of Clarkson, who was all smiles for her trip. She may have been just happy to leave the house. The suspects were lodged at Hotel 36. Meredith said the investigation is ongoing and additional charges for the pair are expected. She beaming ear to ear.
Wow.
I don't know if she's being a smart aleck or if she's
I
really
can't
like, you
tell.
rescued.
It almost
You think
looks
you arrested
genuine.
me, but you rescued me, really. Like, that's interesting.
Thank you for
The pajamas.
the
orange ones.
overnight accommodations.
I don't know what's happening there.
An intense blaze has destroyed a Litchfield home. Wednesday morning at about 3:30, LFD responded to 200 Basham Drive to reports of flames shooting through the roof of a wood-framed home. They found the home partially engulfed in flames and the roof partially collapsed on the left side of the house. They battled the blaze from all four sides, raging into the residence. They took about an hour to get the fire under control. The home suffered fire damage throughout, with a large portion of the roof collapsing. Tragedy has struck Bath County as 4 Amish children have been killed after being swept away in floodwaters. During a buggy accident, 5 children and 1 adult from the same family went missing about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon when the horse pulling their buggy slipped while crossing a flood-swelled stream, dumping the facility into swiftly moving waters near Salt Lick.
It's so sad.
Tragic to hear of that.
terrible.
Tomorrow, I'm about to see the map more closely. The Kentucky Air National Guard will present a 2-ship C-130 flyover across the state as part of Operation American Resolve. They'll be flying from Louisville, then they'll be going east over toward Pikeville. They'll be flying back to Bowling Green, over to Owensboro, and then back to Louisville. So if you were to do it just right, you might be able to intercept it. But starts at 3 o'clock in Louisville and ends about 5:30 back in Louisville. So it'll be a quick C-130 flight over the state. I'd enjoy seeing it if I could.
Why are we doing this?
Operation American Resolve. It is a privilege to provide a thank you to the first responders, essential personnel, and all military service members. Also, this weekend, as you know, it's supposed to be Derby weekend.
Oh, that's
and the NBC, because they have a bunch of dead airspace to fill, they're doing a virtual Kentucky Derby. They're going to take Kentucky Derby winners from the past, simulate them into their own race, like we've always wanted to know how Citation would have done against Secretariat, or how
Yeah.
a Pharaoh
Oh,
would
that'll
have
be
done
fun.
against. So they'll be doing that, and Secretariat is the early 7-2 favorite in the virtual Kentucky Derby that will be available on NBC. I can't wait to see how they're going to do this.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
It'll be a great way to spend
Very
Derby Day,
creative.
if you will. That's right. We got to get to a break. Dr. Greg Koo from Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center is our guest. He'll stop by. We'll get to know Dr. Koo coming up here on In the Know.
At Litchfield Pediatrics, we don't just love our community, we love yours too. Now offering telehealth appointments for visits for mental health such as ADHD or depression, and for visits that do not require a physical exam such as rashes or pink eye. If parents have questions about what is eligible for telehealth, call Litchfield Pediatrics at 270-259-5641.
The tax preparation team at Buckles, Travis & Hart have stepped away to work from home for a couple of weeks to mitigate risk to our families, co-workers, and clients. The rest of the team continues to work on payroll taxes, and sales taxes for our invaluable clients. We will continue to evaluate our restrictions and begin the resumption of full service with those in mind on May 1st. Thanks to all our customers for your understanding, cooperation, and patience during this season. From the team at Buckles, Travis & Hart, GraysonCPAs.com.
Due to the COVID-19 virus, the Sicilian Bank feels it is in the best interest of their customers and employees to temporarily reduce lobby services to appointment only. All banking transactions will be directed to drive-through only until further notice. You may also conduct business by phone by calling any of our banking centers. For a complete list of banking centers and phone numbers, visit thesicilianbank.com. Committed to you, and thank you for your patience during these uncertain times. The Sicilian Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
In these days of unprecedented uncertainty, the University of Louisville is working to find answers to this global pandemic. We are working with hospitals to gather information, process tests, and learn how novel coronavirus is spreading and who it affects. Ruth Carrico is a professor in U of L's Division of Infectious Diseases.
The big issue is understanding the emergence of this illness and the pandemic response in terms of where the cases are, how many cases we're seeing, among what types of patients. We will certainly be able to understand better understand how transmission occurs. And when we understand how transmission occurs, then that provides us the tools that we need to develop some effective interventions.
Our work won't stop. We are a uniquely resilient and innovative community. We will get through this together.
Apple Maps will now show COVID-19 testing sites in all 50 states. The information cards for the sites include the site's hours, address, and phone number, as well as a warning that tests may require a doctor's referral. A report from VoiceBot says sales of smart speakers are up almost 30% from last year, and now nearly 90 million Americans own smart speakers as of January 2020. The report also says 1 of 4 smart speaker owners doesn't know how to listen to AM/FM radio on their voice-activated devices. Spotify's making it easier for you to turn a Zoom call into a podcast. In Spotify's Anchor app, you can upload your Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, and FaceTime call, and then edit and convert it into an episode of your show. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences is easing up on its opposition to streaming movies and approved a rule change that will make digital-only movies eligible to win Oscars, but just for the current awards year. Tech Report, Larry Olson.
when your baby.
Today is Honesty Day. It is also Bugs Bunny Day today. Bugs Bunny first appeared in his first cartoon on this date. We'll tell you about it more later on in the show. We are happy to introduce you to Dr. Greg Koo from Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center. He's a family medicine practitioner operating out of, I believe, the Caneyville facility. We'll talk more about that. Good morning, Dr. Koo. Welcome.
Good morning, Mark. Glad to be here.
Glad to see you here and get to know you. Born and raised in Kentucky?
Absolutely.
Where are you from?
Well, I grew up in Kenton County and lived the last 30 years in Boone County. Practiced in a rural county, Grant County, and decided I needed an adventure. Decided to come down here. This is where the action is, right?
That's right. We'll need to introduce you to the gentleman across the hallway, young Mr. Sam. He also hails from that northern Kentucky area, so you all will have a lot in common. We'll talk about, I'll tell you why, coming up. What led you to medicine, Dr. Koo? Was it something you always wanted to do, or when did you decide?
You know, I was always a science geek, and originally went into college thinking that I was going to be a physicist, and volunteered at the hospital and fell in love with it. And I didn't go into med school right away. I actually got a degree in chemistry, went to work at Procter & Gamble in their labs, and I kept finding myself in other people's labs talking, and decided that love science, but it wasn't for me. And so back to my passion in medicine.
Were you, did you always want to be in family medicine? Did you is there a specialty that appeals to you more than one another? Or I know you treat currently all ages. What was it about that was of interest to you?
Well, I mean, I think that it fits my personality. I love people, and family medicine. The term is mainly with the idea that we treat newborns to the elderly, but it's also about being part of people's families, and you become their doctor, their counselor, their friend, and they adopt you, and there's just nothing like it in this world. And I've enjoyed my entire career doing this.
So when you talk about northern Kentucky, Kenton County, Boone County, Grant County, that's basically Cincinnati, right? So that make you a Bengals and Reds fan?
Well, you know what? I'm probably too geeky to be much of a fan of any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well,
but yes, it's considered a suburb of Cincinnati. So
okay. Well, the reason that I wondered is because Koo must be a German name, because Cincinnati is a very German heritage. All those river towns, even down to Vanderburgh County and Evansville. So those your origin story from the German group.
Yeah, in my entire career, everyone's always asked me about my name. And so we actually did some, ancestry kind of tracing, and it's German. And we trace it to Ellis Island and back to Germany. And there's people in Germany that have my name. And
that's interesting.
It's a weird name, but it's German.
So I saw from your bio that when you were working, you talk about your experience in more rural type medicine. But I noticed that you list that you participated in an integrative medicine clinic or an integrative clinic. What is integrative medicine?
Integrative is basically you mix holistic, natural kind of medicine with modern medicine. And the blend is really nice because you can treat things that you can't normally treat in regular medicine. And, one of the things that I did, I was the director of this holistic integrative center, but I did acupuncture, and I did that my entire career alongside of family medicine, and the results are just unbelievable. And, we would get people who would come into the clinic who just weren't helped with modern medicine, and we could help them. So, I like it. I sort of worked even in my primary care, in a consultative role. People would come in and they'd say, hey, I really don't want a bunch of pills. Can you help me? And it's like, yeah, we can help you. Or, a lot of people wanted a blend. They wanted the best of both worlds, and they didn't want harsh medications if they could avoid it. But hey, if they needed an antibiotic or an antidepressant or whatever, they were okay with that too.
In a couple of years, in a year and some change, I will mark a half century on planet Earth, and I can mark a definite paradigm shift. The first 25 years of my life, most people I was around and heard said Eastern medicine was horse hockey. Like, oh, that's not true. But in the last 25 years, the second half of my life, the blending of East versus West is undeniable, and that to me has to do with the technology age. Our ability to source out information and see other cultures and other portions of the world have really changed our ideology on how best to administer health. Do you agree with that theory?
Absolutely. A lot of people associate Eastern medicine with Eastern philosophy, and with acupuncture, I was trained in what's called medical acupuncture. There is no Eastern philosophy built into that at all. And the thing about acupuncture is that it just works, and it works phenomenally. And because it's lasted 5,000 years, because it's worked, and it deserves a place in modern medicine. And so I don't have any Eastern views when I practice my medicine. I think of acupuncture as just an augmentation to other things that we do.
There's so much that we've learned also recently in even just the last decade about the relation between body systems, or the importance of gut health that we might not have really understood at one point in time. Or 5 years ago, to me, I knew what an antibiotic was, but I didn't know what a probiotic is. And so even just over the last few years, major changes and shifts. Do you enjoy sort of staying ahead of, staying on top of the Journal of Medicine and seeing new things that are being evolved and new ways of thinking of things?
Yeah, I mean, modern medicine is fantastic. There's a lot of advantages to modern medicine. There's nothing like going to get a CAT scan or an MRI, or, antibiotics changed the world. I mean, people were living into their 40s and now they're living into their 70s. So, I do like that. But I like just what you just said about gut health. I mean, gut health is one of those holistic kind of ideas. And so in modern American medicine, we practice disease orientation. You come in with a problem, you have a disease, it's related to an organ system or whatever. In holistic medicine, everything is interrelated. Your gut has to do with your brain health, has to do with your energy level. It has to do with so much things. And lots of things are like that. If you get for instance, heartburn, it can lead to angina, and it's because the esophagus sits next to the heart. It just makes good sense.
My grandfather was a general practitioner and practiced late in life. And if you spend any time in Caneyville, you've either already or you will soon hear him mentioned too. But all the things that I loved about my grandfather was that you already touched on it about family medicine, is that we might be treating your knee, but during that office visit, you're getting a little counseling session. You might get a little marriage counseling. You might get a little parenting advice. You might get a little, and those intersections of family lives come together. And so in the same way that body systems fit together, family units fit together, and the physician, like the caregiver in that, plays a very important role. It sounds like you take it seriously.
Yes, I do. And you know what? I mean, that's a really good point about the counseling and all that. And the way I look at it is that, God made us mind, body, and spirit. If one is unhealthy, it affects the others. And, if somebody comes in and they're depressed, but they originally presented with, heartburn that they can't control, hey, maybe it's related to your depression. Maybe it's you're not healthy in those areas. And sometimes it is, we just have to sit down with them and talk to them and counsel them. But the biggest thing that I do is that I give reassurance. I tell them that they're okay. And when you really get worried about your health, you think you're going to die. You go into your doctor, and the doctor needs to say, you're okay. You're okay. So,
need someone in your corner, someone on your team.
There you go.
What are the challenges of, and we're kind of running out of time, but how challenging is it to try and build a practice, introduce yourself to a facility and a community during a pandemic? It must be hard.
Well, we started off and got a few patients, and, it's hard to build a practice. People don't really know who you are. And then the pandemic hit, and basically nothing. Last week, I saw one entire patient the entire week. And, it's hard. And there's a lot of fear, and people don't want to come into the office. We understand that. But our offices are safe. Let me tell you, they're safe. And I'd rather be in my office any day with patients than in Walmart, because of the precautions that we do for people. So we mask up, we glove up, and I don't touch you without a glove. And I don't get next to you. We give you space. We do the social distancing. It's safe. People need to come in and relax about it.
So I saw, and it was just on screen, 270-879-3711 is the best way to reach out to Caneyville Family Practice. And I, from what you just said, you'd be happy to take new patients starting ASAP. Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right, Dr. Greg Koo, thank you for coming in. It's a pleasure to meet you, and we hope you'll come back.
Thank you, sir.
That's Dr. Greg Koo. He's a family medicine practitioner at Caneyville Family Practice, part of Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center. Your home, your health. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. We're going to play the water cooler question Plus, I got some entertainment news, chart toppers, pearl of wisdom, point to ponder, and more. Coming up here on In the Know.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. Physicians and public health professionals are trying to protect us because our healthcare system would be overwhelmed if too many people get seriously ill. We have to take their advice seriously. So, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home. And disinfect, a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
On the basketball court, you have to know where the lines are. It's just as important to know where the lines are in your own yard. Kentucky law generally requires you to have underground utility lines located before most excavation work, even if it's on your own property. If you don't call 811 and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate you and you may be fined up to $1,250. Much better to stay within the bounds of the law and call before you dig to start putting in that backboard or goalpost. For more information, visit psc.ky.gov. This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
The federal government provides $150 billion a year to make higher education possible for anyone. Completing the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, is the first step to getting your share. But an estimated $40 million in financial aid is left on the table each year by Kentucky students. Don't let that happen to you.
Fill out the new and improved FAFSA today. Visit knowhowtogoky.org and join the conversation on Twitter, #KnowHowToPayKY. This message is brought to you by the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team and the Council on Post-Secondary Education.
Before the awards, before the packed house and busy kitchen on a Friday night, before I owned 7 restaurants, there were early mornings, late nights, researching, writing, debating, all ingredients of a recipe that prepared me to push further beyond where I thought I could ever go. I'm Lita Michael, champion of Kentucky cuisine, and the opportunities I had at the University of Kentucky made my culinary and business aspirations wildly possible. Find your possible at uky.edu.
At the core, most any farm is a family, and I'm proud to work with my family every day.
It's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it, but farming is not just a living, it is a lifestyle.
You've got to love what you do. I love farming.
I think a lot of people are very happy to know that neighbors, people like us, are the ones raising their food.
And we want our neighbors to enjoy the same product that we serve to our family.
Kentucky Farm Families.
Feeding Kentucky.
Feeding the world.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
The clouds and the rain remain in the forecast throughout your Thursday. This means we are not warming up very much. Highs only into the 50s at best for the afternoon. Now we'll watch for the clouds moving out tonight as we tumble into the 40s. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on.
Did you know? A lot of people out the last few weeks turkey hunting, right? Turkeys often look up at the sky during a rainstorm. Some have been known to drown as a result. Turkey's not very bright. But there is a turkey that once almost took out our judge executive. Did you all know that?
No.
I've told that story before, yeah.
Do you want to tell it again?
Sure. Judge Henderson, he was not the judge then, by the way, was driving a Future Designs delivery truck.
So, like, give us a time frame. Like, how many years ago? Give me something.
25.
To 99, 98, 20 years ago.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Probably 20 years ago. And had a turkey come through the windshield of the delivery truck, the Future Designs truck, and he had to fight it off with a Mountain Dew bottle. As best I recall the story.
Yeah, broken glass, turkey going wild.
All I
You're
got is a
driving down
Mountain
the
Dew
road.
bottle.
Yeah.
And he wasn't arrested for distracted driving. That was a major feat in itself, right?
No, I think I have my facts correct on the story. I don't think I've embellished that at all over the years.
I'm sure somebody will let us know.
When things calm down, we'll have to ask him about it. Or maybe today when he tells everyone to do the census, he'll also say, look out for turkeys.
Call into your census, people.
Maybe. Let's see. We've not been doing the water cooler question because we've paused doing actual prize giveaways, but we've been doing some other trivia. So I thought maybe we would, or some other games. So I just thought maybe we would do today's water cooler question just for fun.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Sure.
Today's water cooler question just for fun. You can play along in the comments section. Here you go. 20% of women say this inspires them to lose weight. 2 in 10 women, 1 in 5 women say this inspires them to lose weight. We'll give you all an opportunity to mull that over and see what might come to mind on the motivating factors of 2 in 10 women or 1 in 5 women.
That's what I almost wrote down. And I thought, no, it's not actually that. It's this.
Right.
Whatever percentage you would like to use.
I don't use that. Right.
So out of the break, you heard the theme from Trolls. AMC, the movie theater, will not play any more Universal films after Trolls World Tour, Trolls 2, earned close to $100 million in rental. And the head of Universal said that basically the movie theater model is no longer relevant. So AMC said, oh yeah? Well, then we're not going to show any more of your movies.
Oh, wow.
So they're in a bit of a tussle between AMC and Universal because Trolls generated $100 million in rental without the help of AMC theater chain.
But wasn't that what Universal was saying to start with? We don't need AMC? We don't need a theater? But then I go back to your point. I'd be real careful on measuring this from one movie because I think you do have parents who are willing to pay the extra money to let the kid watch it over and over and over again.
You got them over a barrel until you...
So when you get into the adult movies...
I know of one.
Like Fast and Furious 47, how many men are going to rent that over and over again? They're going to watch it once.
Right.
So...
And that's the way that they have slowly released the content.
Mm-hmm.
It's first exclusively only at theaters, and then it's only on demand, and then it's available on DVD or on some type of soft media, and then eventually it's on television. And that works. And you'll still continue to see that, but they may be able just to go straight to the on-demand and cut out the chains. Because, think of it like this. Here's the way the movie business works, is that a new release, the movie companies get 110% of the ticket price, which means they're dipping into the concessions in the first week. And then that percentage changes the longer a movie is out. Movie theater operators don't start to make money on a ticket until sometimes week 3. So it's those 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks where you're making a large percentage of that. Well, if now you can capture the same dollar, if you're Universal and you can keep 100% of every dollar every week, no, you don't get any of the concessions, but you don't do any long-term sharing either. So it'll be interesting to see how it sorts all this out. By the way, a new Disney Family sing-along is coming on Mother's Day on ABC. If you missed the first one, it's on the DVR at home, but we've not watched it yet. But a new version of Disney Family sing-along available for Mother's Day so you can get your kids to do a concert for you on Mother's Day. The water cooler question, 20% of women say this inspires them to lose weight. Okay. Misty, did you have a guess? The Mirror. Ooh, that's a good one. I think it's higher than 2 in 10 on The Mirror. The Mirror is a strong motivator. Miss Buckles, what about you?
Well, I have a couple. Well, actually 3.
Okay.
So, swimsuits was the first one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A small child.
Okay.
Seeing your fat rolls.
Okay.
Left the top.
Yeah, she's like,
asking
Mama,
for a friend,
what
telling
is
for a
that?
friend. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe your mama or papa says, you look a little heavy.
Right. You must have read about these online because they don't sound personal in any way.
You're
do
not
they?
bitter.
This doesn't sound like anything that's ever happened to you.
I tell the truth.
You're not a scarred person.
Mr. Gormley, do we have any good guesses that you'd like to throw up before I reveal the answer of what 20% of women say inspires them to lose weight? I don't know if there are any guesses or not. And maybe there aren't any good guesses. I will tell you none of your all's guesses are correct.
I'm going to go also with a class reunion or
Oh.
seeing an arch nemesis look better than you think you look.
Class reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Last
see that.
reunion is correct. Here we
Yeah,
go.
but that's something I don't
I think
do.
you like this winter bed better.
The Sesame Street thing was good. There. Oh,
Yeah,
Galaga.
you got that one.
That's way more fun.
Yeah. Give me a rotary phone in there. That'd be great.
I don't know. I just got all the game shows going on.
The montage of game shows.
What else do you need to know about? I told you about the Disney sing-along. Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka are going to play virtual tennis match. They'll be playing on Mario's tennis game on Nintendo. That's going to be awesome. We can't play tennis for real, so they'll play the video game version and see who wins. I will, of course, at this point, we'll watch about any sports that they put on television, including a virtual Kentucky Derby. But yeah, I'll watch Serena and Naomi play. Sure, that'll be great. We got to get to a break. We'll come back top of the hour. We're going to ring the bells, pay tribute to the Kentuckians we've lost, and help those who are isolated during this season. We'll also have chart toppers, point to ponder, and plenty more coming up here on In the Know.
Skyscrapers are amazing feats of engineering. They survive because they have the right balance between strength and flexibility. Take New York City's Freedom Tower, for example. It's the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, built to replace the Twin Towers destroyed on 9/11. In honor of our country's birthday, 1776, the tower stands at 1,776 feet tall. For a skyscraper to stand that tall, it has to remain strong against tremendous forces working against it, like gravity and wind. But a tall building also needs to be flexible enough to bend when tremendous forces come against it, like gravity and wind. And that's why the Freedom Tower is designed to sway 4 to 5 feet at the center. Strength and flexibility. You need both in a skyscraper, and you need both in marriage as well. The healthiest couples are those who can stand their ground when they need to, but they also compromise for the sake of their spouse and their relationship. If you have a strong personality, you may need to soften a bit. Become more flexible in your approach to your relationship. If you have a soft personality, you may need to become stronger and have better boundaries, and be willing to confront wrong. Reach for the sky in your marriage, but remember that you'll need 2 things to build a loving, happy marriage: strength and flexibility. To help your marriage thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. The anxiety can be overwhelming. If you're feeling extra worried, you're not alone. You can still contact a mental health professional. They're ready to help you get through this. And remember, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home, and disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
Your friends at Kentucky 811 want you to know that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are experiencing very long hold times when you call 811. Avoid the wait and click before you dig. 811now.com is the faster way to submit an 811 request. Simply visit 811now.com, fill in the online form, and wait 2 full business days for your utilities to be located. Know what's below before you dig. This message brought to you by Kentucky 811.
We are the Bach family from Bath County, Kentucky.
We have beef cattle, grain, and some fruits and vegetables. Our beef herd is about 240 mama cows.
We try to do the best job that we can so that the consumer is satisfied.
I feel I'm really blessed to be able to work with my family.
You've got to love what you do. I love farming. It's a good life.
I'm very proud of my family.
Kentucky Farm Families, feeding Kentucky, feeding the world.
If you're a student entering a community college or university, check this out. You can save money in college tuition by finishing your degree on time. Just earn 15 credit hours each semester or 30 a year. Do the math. The longer you stay, the more you pay for a college degree. Talk to your advisor and make a plan. Take 15 to finish on time. Get in, get out, get going. Visit knowhowtogoky.org.
This message is sponsored by knowhowtogoky.org.
I was born in Little Rock, had a childhood sweetheart. We were always hand in hand.
MB's Point to Ponder for today.
Susie wasn't pigtail.
What's the most satisfying everyday achievement? Those things that when they happen, you go, oh, good, I'm glad that happened. I'll give you a couple of examples while you all come up with your own. When you catch all the green lights, you're able to go where you're going, and you get no red lights.
That's good.
That's good. Always nice to have being free to fly. The waking up and turning off the alarm just before it goes off. There's something gratifying about that. On the days when I stand up and it's, oh, good, the alarm's going off in 1 minute. I don't have to hear it.
Yeah.
It's fun to change that, be able to catch that. The getting the microwave to go off on zero without it beeping. You know,
not listening to that.
Drives me crazy.
That's good. If you ever, I don't know that it's ever happened, but if you were to ever be able to insert a USB the correct way the first time, it's kind of like winning the lottery.
Right? Has it ever happened to anyone?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's never happened to me.
And even if you say it has happened to you, I'm going to need video proof that it did happen because I don't think it ever
And
happened.
here's the crazy thing. Not only can I not get it on the first time, I turn it over and I can't get it on the second time.
Well,
Then I
how
go back to
does
the
that
third
happen?
time.
Yeah,
then I have
I'm
to
more
stick
of a-
my head on my desk and go, which side is
pull
it?
it out,
Well,
look at the
so
two
when
dots.
I do it, I'm in the other room. I'm in production. So I'm like standing pretty much upside down
Oh, yeah,
to
you've
try to
gotta
get
get on
it
the
in
floor
there.
to see
Yeah,
that.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
really?
It's impossible. But the getting, no, not click, 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 click. But when you're going along pumping gasoline and you get it to just stop on 20 or you get it to stop on, like, not the I got it within 10 cents and I was able to,
Yeah.
I mean the going full throttle and then letting it off and then it landing on $1.
But what is it in us that it has to be at a 00 on the end? Why can't we be good with like $13.42?
Oh, I'm good with whatever.
Let me give you an
I'm
idea.
not. I have to. My OCD, I have to get to the 00.
The other day I was talking about the volume on something and I told Sam I had it on 17. He said, he looked at me weird like I'd freaked him out. Like, you can't have volume on odd numbers.
No.
You gotta have
No,
volume
right.
on even
Yeah,
numbers.
you got to have it on even numbers.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, so weird.
Anything else y'all can think of that, like, when it happens, you
I
guys
was just
all
going to
right?
go when I get up.
Period. Like this.
Yeah,
you
that's
sort of
it.
said that. You sort of said that like you were going to continue on, but then I looked at you and you were like, "No, that's all I
that's it.
got."
Yeah.
I mean, when I get up,
Yeah, get up.
That's
The
an
fact
everyday-
that I decided I'm going to do it again today.
it's an everyday achievement. This date in 1945, as Soviet troops approached his Berlin bunker, Adolf Hitler killed himself. In AD 311, shortly before his death, Roman Emperor Galerius issued the Edict of Toleration, ending persecution of Christians. In 1789, George Washington took the oath of office as President of the United States. The Vietnam War ended in South Vietnamese capital Saigon fell to the communists this date in 1975. The original Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, who played Chewie, passed away at the age of 74 a year ago today. Willie Nelson may be 87 today, may have been 87 yesterday. Isaiah Thomas is 59, Johnny Galecki is 45, Kirsten Dunst is 38 today.
Maybe 25. I may not. be.
Gone but not forgotten, Johnny Horton in 1925.
You decide.
We're going to celebrate shortly Johnny Horton.
My daughter's 24 this year, but hey, I can still be
I
25.
also needed to tell you that the series premiere of Council of Dads is on NBC tonight, and a Parks and Recreation special is on NBC tonight, and the season 8 finale of Last Man Standing is on Fox.
Haven't we already had the season premiere Council of Dads?
This says
because
it hasn't.
I watched it.
It says series premiere of Council of Dads on NBC. You might be right, but
I
I'm
watched
going
it.
upon
He
what
had
I said.
cancer and died. Sorry
Maybe
for
you
those
got an
who-
advanced media release
Spoiler
copy.
alert.
I mean, okay.
No, let's talk about that after, because I think hang on. You may be thinking of a different show. Here comes the University of Kentucky Marching Band performing My Old Kentucky Home. Don't forget, another Grayson County COVID-19 briefing comes your way at 3:30 this afternoon on all of our channels. I believe those are continuing daily, at least the last I heard from the judge. So this Council of Dads, Misty, that you're talking about, so it says it's a new show about dads, and it does say, we're being told it's a series premiere, but you've watched the series premiere already.
I have already watched the premiere of Council of Dads. I know I have.
It's because you're a member of the media and you get the advance copy of all those things.
That's what it is. Yes.
Let's go to Chart Toppers. And 1960, Johnny Horton on his birthday was number one with Sink the Bismarck.
Out of the cold and foggy night came the British ship, the Hood.
So it's a story song.
He knew and understood.
Unless we're watching a Broadway play, I don't like story songs.
It's a profit deal.
She didn't like them
That's
at
a
all.
story song.
So Mallory's friend was FaceTiming last night, and this is where they are and being quarantined. They're now singing Broadway songs. So she was singing to me from Beauty and the Beast. So I was telling them about Broadway HD. So she was headed then to go find some news.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
1969, Glenn Campbell was number one.
Galveston, oh Galveston.
They got some nice beaches in Galveston.
Your sea waves crashing. While I
Hope it's better than the song about it.
Right?
Don't you all be mean to Glenn Campbell.
I'm not.
Don't you do it.
I
We
say
know
anything about
better.
Glenn Campbell.
But
1978, the Bee Gees. This is called, kids, this is called Night Fever. I remember when I could do falsetto like that.
Yeah.
Well, I
know
don't
you were,
care
what,
for
11?
it because, my aunt would take me to the skating rink, and it was promised this song would be on.
Well,
I couldn't
yeah.
skate well.
Oh, it's PTSD.
Right?
Yeah.
I got it.
You have a bad association with it.
You couldn't skate well because you kept getting pushed down, or?
So you're saying if you could skate, you would like the song?
Yeah, that's it.
Those were two different questions.
We know. Gonna need a response.
I
You've
think
got 24 hours
the answer
to
to
come up with
both
an
is yes.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that is the
So
answer.
if I teach you to skate, we can listen to the Bee Gees at work.
Maybe. Okay.
1996.
The hallway's pretty short.
I can skate on four wheels. I could never rollerblade.
We have an excellent skating floor.
You really do.
Yeah, we do. Celine Dion, Because You Loved Me, was number one this day in 1996.
That's what I want for Mother's Day.
Misty, you quaked to the earth.
I want a pair of roller skates. That's what I want for Mother's Day. I want a
Are
pair
you
of roller
serious?
skates.
All right,
Yes.
Like old school?
You can
Yeah,
have
with the
roller
wheels.
skates, but you can't have a key until the 4th of July.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key.
Exactly. Alicia Keys, number one with Karma in 2005. That's all you get. And 6 years ago today, Pharrell Williams, number one. I might recommend the Adidas-looking blue shoes with the 3 stripes and the yellow skate wheels on them. Just don't go to S-Mart wearing them.
Can I have the pom-poms on them too?
Mine didn't have pom-poms.
I have to have the ankle, I have to lace up around my ankles. I can't have just the tennis shoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one
Weak
that I
ankles.
was made to wear, but clearly was not successful.
It took us an entire show, Jason, but I finally unearthed what she wants for Mother's Day.
I seriously do want
did my
roller
part.
skates.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Hi, Felicia. I can just see you out roller skating in your neighborhood.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. The most reliable way to predict the future is to create it. The most reliable way to predict the future is to create it. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Misty Thomas, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky, WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA. 104.9 FM, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105. Your news starts now.